What is the worth of a man's death, who is responsible for 20 million lives? The year is 1953. The air in Kuntsevo Dacha, 20 miles from Moscow, was thick with cigar smoke and the scent of fear. Outside, the world trembled. Inside, Josif Stalin, a man made of iron and suspicion, hosted his last supper. The guests, Malenkov, Beria, Khrushchev, Bulganin, were men who lived and died by his whims. They laughed too loudly at his jokes and drank the Georgian wine he poured, each sip a calculated risk. The night dissolved into the early hours of March 1st. The guests left, the silence rushing in to fill the enormous void they left behind. Only the chief of guard, Peter, and the housekeeper, Matryona, remained in the wings. At 6:30 a.m., Peter received the customary instruction. No disturbances, no calls, no visitors, no matter what. Such was the routine of a dictator accustomed to his morning rest being sacrosanct. The day passed in an unbearable quiet. No sound came from his chambers. The guards paced, their footsteps muffled by thick carpets, their anxiety growing into a living, palpable thing. No one dared to knock. Evening came. Still, the silence held. The light remained off in the inner rooms. Peter felt the knot in his stomach tighten. To disturb the Vozhd was death. To ignore him might be treason. Around 10 p.m., a small excuse was found. Matryona, the house guard, had to deliver a letter of urgent state importance, a flimsy pretext to check on the master. She entered a small sitting room. He was on the floor near the desk. A hand had spilled a glass of mineral water. He was in his pajamas, lying half-conscious. She screamed, a small choked sound. Peter rushed in, his face white. The decision to call for help was terrifying. Whom to trust? Beria was called first, then the others. Power was already beginning to shift, a cold wind blowing through the house of cards. The doctors arrived hours later, summoned by the men who would soon inherit his empire. They stood uselessly at his bedside, prohibited from helping, while the greatest tyrant of his age lay dying, alone, in a pool of his own making. The Iron Curtain was dissolving into a dark, final sleep.